best entertainer, DJ Abe Alley, with total events DJ service. You're locked in with DJ Abe Alley, your girlfriend's favorite DJ.
Ooh.
Is that you out there?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Abe Alley podcast. Thank you for coming in here tonight. Strike number 2 for this week. I'm so excited for tonight's show. We're rocking and rolling this week, man. I'm so excited, guys. I'm so very excited. I can't help it. The computer's been jumping up at me. The microphone's been jumping up at me. Everybody wants to be on the Abe Alley podcast show. And I have a fantastic guest here tonight. But before I get into my guest, I want you guys to see, and I want you guys to email me right now, right here and now, as I'm speaking. Send me an email. Please, I beg you. The Abe Alley Podcast at yahoo.com. All lowercase. Go ahead. Connect with me. I want to hear from all of you. The Abe Alley Podcast at yahoo.com. All lowercase. So I'm fired up tonight, guys. So very fired up. Because I have a great guest coming on with me. But I want you guys to go ahead and get in the chat. Send me a chat. Ask me a question. Whatever you want to ask me. But tonight's podcast is pro wrestling talk. As a lot of you know, I was in the pro wrestling business for 10 years. Trained by Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Worked with a lot of guys in the business. Have a lot of great memories. I have a lot of bitches and a lot of gripes. But that goes with the territory. And I wouldn't change anything with being in the pro wrestling business. I met a lot of famous people. I met a lot of great people. Friends, acquaintances. I can't even talk. I'm so fired up. Everything. And I love talking about it. I love you guys here listening and interacting with me. That's me in a nutshell. I want to connect with you. And look at this. I'm getting dry already. I need a drink. I got to lube up. I'm just excited. So, like I said, guys, I'm so very excited for tonight's podcast. April Fool's Day 2021. Man, this damn virus thing is getting old, isn't it? Unbelievable. Get out there, guys. Get vaccinated if you can. Be safe. Don't catch the virus. If there's one thing I can tell you, don't catch the virus. Catch a cold instead. I don't know. Catch a buzz on. Catch a buzz on instead. Jack and Coke, whatever you want to drink, catch a buzz on. I want to hear from you guys in the chat tonight. Interact with me, please. I'm so very excited. Now, if I can get my chat up here. Oh, where'd it go? My chat disappeared. I'm going to kill myself now. Oh, boy. There it is. Oh. Oh, Adam Reynolds. What's up, Adam? Mike, I see you now. My chat wasn't working, and it is now. So, nice to hear from you guys. But, ladies and gentlemen, before I get going, I want to thank you for being here. And right now, I want to introduce my friend, pro wrestling friend. We talk a little bit here and there. I've never worked with him in the ring, but I'm glad to have him on the Abe Alley podcast here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Vaughn Taggart, right here on the phone. What's up, Vaughn? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. How about you, man?
Oh, not bad. I'm glad to have you on here tonight because we got a lot to get into. We got a lot to talk about. You know, you've been around the business for a while. I used to be in the business for a while. I'm a crazy bastard. You're a professional guy. And we got a lot to talk about. So let's have some fun. What's going on?
Well, you call yourself a crazy bastard. I'm the crazy Canadian. Two crazies in one room. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Those damn Canadians. You know, I used to have a big rivalry with the Canadians. You know that, right?
I absolutely do.
So you and I never got to work together.
Well, unfortunately, we never got to work together because I think by the time I got in the business, you were getting out. So,
What year did you break in?
I actually, well, my first taste of it was back in 2004. I was kind of like the patsy for the good guy against
Sure.
the heels. But it wasn't until like 2011 someone brought me in, and I never looked back. It's always been a big thing for me.
Wow. So I was in the business from 2002 until 2012. And March of 2012 is when I last did my last match. So, yeah, you had just broken in when I was getting out. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have a lot left in the tank. I didn't get done because I couldn't do it. I didn't get done because I was washed up and anything like that. I just didn't have time for it anymore. I started a family. Uh, I couldn't travel around anymore. It was more of a hobby for me, even though I made pretty good money at it because I had a great gimmick. But that's the reason why I got done, and I started a business with my wedding services, DJing, and entertainment. So that's the reason why I got done. But it's too bad. That would have been good. I would have loved to work with you.
It would have been fun. Canada versus USA really always draws a lot of fans, and to this day. But I understand. I got a family of my own. I know I understand it as well. Got two kids, got a wife that I love very much, and I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. So your wife, does she support it all the way?
Initially, she wanted to wring my neck because I even thought about it. But as soon as I got into it, she actually started attending shows. And when my firstborn came around, she brought him along, and she was okay with it as long as I didn't get hurt.
Right, but you just don't know. You know as well as I do when you even just step into a wrestling ring, and obviously, there are people out there that know that it's predetermined and they call it fake and all that. The pain is not fake. And you know just as well as I do, if you step in that ring and you're working with somebody that's green, that don't know what they're doing, you can get hurt.
Absolutely. I mean, I know every time I step into that ring, I'm taking a risk, no matter who I go against. Luckily, knock on wood, I haven't been seriously injured yet.
No, that's good.
And
That's good.
but I've had some bruises and bumps. Let me tell you, it ain't fake when you get those bumps and bruises.
I remember the worst thing that I ever had was I had a guy come off the top rope onto me. We were doing TV tapings down with Tony Atlas for Adelphia Cable and Time Warner, and we had a whole day of matches. And the worst thing that ever happened to me was a guy came off the top rope, did a whatever you want to call it, a flying frog splash is what it was, and he put his knee right here, and the guy was 210 pounds. Because I was laying on the ground and I was covering my junk because I didn't want to get nailed in the nuts, and he put his knee right here on this side, and I remember I heard a pop, and that was it. I think I did 4 matches that day. That was the last match, and I had like a 3-hour ride home, and it was very, very painful.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't been to that point, and I'm sure hearing a pop is not a good thing.
No,
But
it's not.
I remember being in the ring with the Tank,
Yep,
Mr. Billy Alley,
Yep.
and we had a match in Woodland, Baileyville,
Yep.
and it was just it wasn't his fault. It wasn't anybody's fault. We were a little too close to the ropes, and I went ribs first, and I was bruised for 3 weeks, and it was very painful.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize the bumps and bruises you take. And you can
Exactly.
just by running the ropes doesn't feel good, especially if you have your shirt off. That's what used to happen to me. Those ropes aren't soft, and then you're doing the bumps. That ring is not soft. I mean, some rings are different, but I mean, the softest ring that I ever worked in was WrestleMania 3 ring, and that thing was bouncy just like a bounce house. So that was an easy ring. But then there were other rings where, when I get to the show, I always wanted to get in the ring and take a bump or two just to see what it felt like. And I remember some of them were as hard as a concrete floor.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that we're not landing on thick padding here. We're
Yeah.
either a spring and plywood. That's pretty much what it is.
Yep.
So
Mike says he twisted his ankle once picking dandelions.
good for him.
You toppled over, Mike, with that big stomach of yours. No, Mike's a good boy. Vaughn Taggart would kick your ass, Bob. That's what he said to me.
It's good to see you on chat there, Mike.
Mike's a good singer, by the way. Maybe he should do some more videos of singing. He's pretty good at it.
Well, if
Mike.
he does, I'll be interested to watch it.
Yeah. But it's just I've been around a little bit, met a lot of people, worked for a few promotions. I didn't travel a lot outside of the state, just because, a couple of reasons. I always like to stay in the state of Maine because Maine's a good place, and I always heard a lot of bad things about other states and promotions and stuff like that. I don't know. I probably should have just done it anyways because, I could work a little bit, I guess. And, I had a great time doing it. It was fun.
It is fun. Like I said, I've mainly stayed in the New England area. Most of the promotions I've worked for have been in Maine. I've been to New Hampshire, Rhode Island. I've done a couple of promos in Quebec and New Brunswick. Those
nice.
are pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun traveling. I have someone that travels with me. He's been my tag team partner for years now.
Nice.
So it's been fun.
Oh, that's cool. How did you break into the business? Was it just something that you saw people down around Central Maine doing, or how'd you break in?
Well, like I said, I've been a wrestling fan for a while, but
Sure.
I've been I actually went to a show down in Brewer, and it was a new company, NCWE. It didn't go for long, but
Oh,
the owner of the company actually talked to me after the show and knew that I was really interested in it, and we actually became partners in the company, and that's how I really got in, is becoming an owner of a company and just learning the ins and outs of it.
that's cool. Um, my my story is a little different. I talked to my representative that was living down where I was from, down east. Representative Eddie Dugay, he's a great friend of mine, and he did a great thing for me. And I always thank him when I see him. But he got a hold of Tony Atlas for me, and Tony was running seminars down in southern Maine. So I had to travel 3.5 hours to go to seminars and shows. But that's how I got involved in the business. Me and Ryan, Billy, and my friend Bruce, we all used to talk about wrestling and stuff. And we've always been fans forever. And we got a hold of Tony, and Tony beat the hell out of us for a couple of years. And we did shows in between with Tony just to get experience. But that's how I broke in. And the first show I ever did with Tony, we had a training seminar before, and then he put us in the show that night, because he needed jobbers and people to fill spots, and he didn't have to pay us, so it was an extra body, and that's how I got in, and then it stemmed from there. It was cool.
Yeah, I want to share two facts with you about Tony Atlas.
Go
Number
ahead.
one, back in 2017, I actually got to wrestle Tony Atlas in 2017 in Island Falls, which was pretty awesome.
That's
I
cool.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. And then the second fact, I think is even funnier, is when we first started NCWE, we had Tony Atlas come in to wrestle, and he actually hit on my wife and asked her to Burger King.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Tony is a fantastic person. Uh, he's a flirty person, and that's just how he is. He's a fantastic artist. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to politics, and he is an old school person, especially in the pro wrestling business. So he's seen a lot of things. And, he told me, I always used to ask him questions because I always wanted to hear stories. And he told me one time, hold on. He told me a story one time when they were at Shea Stadium in New York, and somebody, I can't remember who it is. Somebody, I think it was Bruiser Brody or one of those guys. Anyways, Andre the Giant got chased out of the stadium with only wearing his underwear because somebody pulled a gun on him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I can't remember the total details of it, but listening to Tony tell me the story, it was awesome, because he was there. And Tony always, back in the 80s, Tony had quite the attitude. But he used to tell me all these stories, and that was the best part about it. He was pouring his knowledge into me, holds and what you want to do. You're a team in the ring with the guy you're working with or the people you're working with. You're not in there to hurt them. They need to go home to their families. You don't want to hurt somebody, just lead to bad things. And that stuff, Tony, mentally and psychology wise, he was fantastic that way with me, and it was awesome.
I have to agree. I mean, he shared a lot with me too, not just stories, but just the psychology in the ring. And he was so easy to work with, even though I was like extremely nervous. Going against the Hall of Famer, obviously.
Yeah.
But he was one hell of a guy to know, to talk to, and I'll never forget it.
Um, so you live up north,
I do.
and you're in Caribou.
I live up in the county. Yes, I do.
You're in the
Caribou. I think I'm
county.
about 20, not even 20 minutes away from the Canadian border.
Nice. Okay. Um, very big place up there. I don't get up there very often, but the best show, and this is cool because I want to tell you this. The best show that I was ever a part of. Okay, top two shows was in Lubec when I promoted a show in Lubec, which is east, and Fort Kent. And we were in Fort Kent one night with the Honky Tonk Man, and Robbie Ellis was with us, which a lot of people know him, but obviously they know the Honky Tonk Man. We went up there at the college and had like 500 people in the gym, and I got to work Ryan Colson in a match. And I wasn't Captain Freedom at the time. I was the Heartstopper Chase San Antone. We blew the roof off that place. And when we checked into the hotel, when we went out to the Chinese place, and when we went out to the bar, everybody in that town catered to us. At the show, at the hotel, at the restaurants, and at the bar, we were catered to. And I'll always remember that. And it was December 2nd or December 1st, 2008, I believe. And I'll never forget it. They welcomed us there, and it was a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, and I bet it was. I'll tell you something. Ryan told me the same exact story that you just told me. And just to give you a fun fact, that I was actually born and raised in Fort Kent, so I know exactly how they treat
Oh, were
people
you?
up there. Oh yes, they treat people like royalty up there. I mean, you go there and give them something to watch, to look at. It doesn't matter. They're always gonna open, open arms. They're always gonna have people come up there and do something for them, and they will. Excuse my French, but spoil the shit out of you.
Hey, this is a rated R podcast. So if you want to swear, fucking swear. Okay? And, obviously, uh, I'm a DJ entertainer now, and I have been for a very long time. Actually, I was a DJ entertainer right after I get into wrestling. But on my podcast here, we talk about everything. We talk about all kinds of topics. So, pro wrestling is just one of those topics I can relate to. And I do a lot of content with DJing and weddings and all kinds of stuff. So it's good to change it up a little bit, and I'm glad you're on here. It's good.
Yeah, I'm really excited now. This is definitely a good time, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, and I appreciate your time. And we'll do this again, of course. But I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite thing about being in the pro wrestling business, and what is your least favorite?
Oh yeah, well,
There's all
um,
it's on both sides of the board here.
yeah. My favorite thing, to be honest, it's the different talent I've met that have made me feel welcome in the business. Just the different things, constructive criticism, the advice that I can get. I suck it right in. I take everything that they can give me. Just being out there in front of the fans really make the show. Um, but as far as the one thing that really gets to me that I really don't like about the business is the opposite end of how people can be cruel in the business as well.
100%.
Yeah, I'm not just talking about every time I go out there or every time every other promotion I go out there. It's just specific talent that just, they're set in their ways, and if you don't conform to what they like or what they do, you're just another notch that really they don't care about.
Yeah. Uh, and I want to elaborate on that question as well because I bitch a lot about the pro wrestling business. I tried to, when I was in the business, I tried to be fair to everybody and have a level head. Like, I wanted to be better than everybody just on my end, just to try my best and to be the best I could be. And if I did that, maybe that would help somebody that I'm working with or help the show or anything like that. It was nothing ever arrogance or cockiness or anything like that. That's just the way I wanted to do it. And a lot of the times it was mistaken for being a cocky ass or being arrogant. Now, there's a difference. I did it for myself to do the best I could do. A lot of guys will go out there and be totally selfish and will not even let you or anyone else have any kind of shine. When you're in the ring or even when you're at a show, you're supposed to be a team. And I always told that to people that I worked with, being a team. And that was the best part of the business that I liked, when people were willing to work with you and to make you better and all of that kind of thing. The worst was when people thought they were famous and they weren't fucking shit. You go to meet somebody, and I came from where when you walk in the locker room, you introduce yourself to everybody, no matter if you know them or not. That's how I was. And that's how I was. And a lot of guys wouldn't do that, and they would sit over there and talk about people. I mean, obviously there's ribs and jokes and all that kind of thing, but when you're working with people, go over and introduce yourself. And the judgmental things that I used to see all the time, like I try not to do that, and of course it's hard not to judge people, but when you see somebody walk in the locker room and they're not even wearing pro wrestling gear and they're acting like they're the headliner of the show and they're not even getting paid, they won't shake your hand, and they think they're all that in a bag of chips, that's what I used to hate. When people thought they were better than everybody else and wouldn't share or help anyone else in the locker room.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. You're on point with everything that I kind of wanted to say. It's just, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be, like you said, a team. Just going out there, having a good time, putting on a show for fans,
Sure.
just showing respect to each other. I mean, it just, you have that one or two people that are in the locker room that don't give a shit about anybody else, kind of puts the elephant in the locker room, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. I hated it. And when I was promoting shows and I would book people, that was a big thing that I always, me and Ryan and Billy, if we were running shows, we didn't like trying to book people that were arrogant. We wanted to book guys that wanted to come out, have fun, whatever, have a good show, and leave.
Yep.
That's it. Sometimes that didn't happen. I used to get in fights with a couple of workers, and I would give this one time. I gave a guy 3 scenarios. I said, you can get pinned 1, 2, 3. You can get hit with brass knuckles and pinned 1, 2, 3. And another one was a DQ of some sort. And this guy, he had about 2 matches under his belt, was literally crying to me that he didn't like my ideas. I like to mix it up in my shows. You get 6, 7 matches. Most of them, I want it to be different. Maybe 2 had the same kind of finish. I like to change it up a little bit. This guy would sit there and cry about the spot I was giving him. And I gave him 3 scenarios, and he would not agree to those 3. And then I said, okay, so what if you win tonight? And he was all happy and said, yes, of course. I said, you're not winning.
I see. That's
and I was the promoter, and I was paying him pretty good compared to what other people paid. And he would not agree to something just because he wasn't going to win. It's not a fight. It's a show.
It baffles me
on.
that you got these kids coming in thinking that 2 matches in, 3 matches, no matter what, they're coming in thinking that they're gonna rule the universe and win every match. I mean, when I came in, I don't know how many matches I lost before I won my first one. I mean, it was probably year 3.
Same here.
Before, so it's like, for me, just to be in that ring, to show, what my character was all about, and just to be in there in front of all these fans was just an honor in my eyes.
Well, you got to think about this too. And before I say this, I want to give a couple shout outs. Shout out to my boy Kirk down in Australia. He's watching right now. My friend Buddy out of Illinois. What's up, Buddy? Mike, Kevin, and a few other people that are on here watching. What's up, guys?
Nice.
Thank you for coming in. I know Vaughn likes it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I knew I was going to do that. What the hell was I going to say?
Just being in the ring.
Yes. Independent wrestling is not WWE wrestling. It's the same art form, but the production is not the same. Vince has TV, trailers, trucks, everything, okay? So when he goes and does a show, the world sees it. And he has real professional people. Independent wrestling is different. And when people buy a ticket to come see a bunch of people, or a bunch of guys or girls that aren't known, and they buy a ticket to come see independent wrestlers that they don't know, that is a privilege to you, the worker.
Yep.
Am I correct?
Absolutely.
100%. They're spending $10 to sit in a chair and watch you put on a live movie in a pro wrestling ring.
Yep.
They don't know you. Okay? WWE, they know. They know everybody. Of course, the product's sold to them. When they go to an indie show, the product isn't sold to them. So if they're buying a ticket and they're going to see someone they don't know, you, the wrestler, you, the worker, you, the promoter, you, the referee, you, the ring kid, whatever, should be grateful that they spent their money to support you.
Totally agree. I mean, it's just if everybody would get together and say this and just tell them, say, hey, listen, this is a process. It's hard in the business. It's not easy. It just doesn't come to you, silver spoon in the mouth here. You have to work for it, and someday it'll pay off. But you ain't gonna do it in 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, 100%. And another thing that I like to do when I was promoting shows was before the show, like 30 minutes before the show, when everyone's there, the ring's set up, everybody's in the back, I would call a meeting. And I would I would have the card written out so everyone could see, and I would call a meeting every show, and I would give a speech, just kind of like what I just told you. The fans are paying their money to come see you. You need to, in return, be grateful and give them a good match and entertainment. Okay? And I always used to say, do not disrespect the fan. There's a difference between getting heat, and disrespect. There's a fine line there. And if anybody that I booked crossed that line, I would take their pay. And I wouldn't book them again. It never happened, but I told them every single time before the show. You can't disrespect the people that are feeding you.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And like I said, I know exactly what you're talking about between the heat and disrespect. I mean, there is a fine line there, and that's why, some fail and some succeed.
Very true. Um, yeah, I just, there's so much stuff that I've said through the years. There are people that I still do not like from when I was doing shows. One guy drew off and punched me right in the face one night on purpose, and I knew it was coming because I knew he didn't like me. But he was a manager, and he's a pussy ass. He still is, and I'd say that to his face. He knows what he did. He ran out of the building that night.
Yeah, I to this day I still have a few select people on my blacklist that I don't talk to or even associate with, just because it's not necessarily physically or anything like that. But you said how the elephant in the locker room with the specific people that don't want to and just shit on you. Well, those are the people that really I don't get along with.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's pretty bad. Like, let me tell you what happened, and then we can go from there.
All right.
I was doing a show for my mom, and this was before she passed. So we did a benefit show for my mom. This was back in 2005, and I knew that this manager. I mean, I'll say it. I don't care. His name is Beavis.
Yep.
You know who he is?
I know who that is.
Okay. And he always used to run his mouth to me. And he's going to watch this.
Yep, he still does.
Yeah. And he's going to see this podcast.
Hey, so be it.
And I don't care. And I haven't forgotten it. It's not like I'm going to go to Portland and find him. I could have found him 10 years ago if I wanted to.
I'm sure you could.
But anyways, he used to say shit. Online, everything. And he was at my show. And he drew off. I was in the corner selling it. And then he came right in. And I bent over. I was getting choked on the rope. And he come up, because he was a manager. And he drew off and hit me right here. Full on punch. It was no work. It was no... He didn't slip. It was nothing. I saw it coming. I let it be. He hit me. And then I told the guy I was working with, I said something to him. I can't remember what it was. He knew. And the guy I was working with, I said, go home. I'm going to go beat his fucking ass. So we finished the match within a minute, and I went out of the ring, out back. It was at my high school. He was gone. Good thing, because I wasn't going to stop. It wouldn't have been pretty. It would have been bad, and I probably would have gotten in trouble. So Beavis, if you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about, you fuck. So If you want to finish it, we can finish it. It won't be good for you. I still remember, you motherfucker. But if you see this, why don't you reach out to me? Maybe we'll talk about it. And then I won't dismantle your face when I see you. Because I still remember. I don't give a shit. Okay? So, you know what you did. You're going to say, oh, I didn't mean to and all this. I know you did. That's why you left. Okay? This was back in 2005. It's like 16 years ago. I still remember. I don't really give a shit, but for the podcast, why not? We might as well have some controversy on here. So if I ever see you, I'm probably going to give you a straight right, and it's not going to be nice. Okay? But yeah, I just wanted to tell the story about that.
Hey, it's all cool, man, and I bet you won't run away either when you do it.
No, I'm not running nowhere. Nope. And you know what? I'm one of those people too that are very easygoing, and I'm nice and I'm funny and I try to make people laugh. But sometimes I get to the end of my rope, and that's the reason why I'm sure I saw him at shows again after that. I just never wouldn't let myself take myself to that place. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, my brother, on the other hand, it would have been over. Like, my brother BJ, if he would say my brother BJ was me and he did that to my brother would have got out of the ring and would have dismantled that guy right there in front of everybody. Like, no joke. Me, on the other hand, I'm very passive that way. But I don't forget.
No, and I understand that. Sometimes you just got to hold back and make sure that it doesn't happen in front of the crowd. I understand that too, though.
That too, you know, and I was the promoter for that show, so
Right.
No promoter would have been mad at me, but I just I went out back, and I was fucking pissed, dude. I had a fat lip. He hit me. He drew back and nailed me, and I took it.
Yep.
It was real. That wasn't a work punch, and he was gone. He was out. Gone. So
It's amazing how people can be big in one moment and then be small in the next.
Yeah, you know, and I've heard a lot of stories about that kind of stuff, you know, and then the guy will give a receipt right in the ring, and that's happened to me before too. Like, I think I got kneed in the gut, but it was low. It was there, you know, right above, and I think I took this guy to the corner and I fucking drove my elbow right here. Boom. Said, watch your fucking knees. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's different. It's different when you're working with somebody that you trust. Because I chopped somebody once. It slipped and I hit him like on the throat. I didn't mean to. I wound up, and I stepped into it too much, and I hit him in the throat. It was like, you know, like collarbone area, and he grabbed me, and I'm apologizing to him, you know, and he's like, easy on the fucking chops, and then he whacked me, you know. But yeah, it was.
That's the thing.
It was cool.
You go in the ring, and you're going against this guy, and you're hoping that the trust is like fully there, but accidents happen, and there could be a stiff here and a stiff there, no intention at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it's the veteran thing to do. It happens.
Yeah, and like I said, you know when it's not on purpose.
Correct.
And that's happened to me a few times. You know, like I said, I fucked up. I started apologizing to him, and then he just nailed me, you know, and it was, you know, and that was it. It was over.
Yep.
But there are times where someone stiffs you for real, and it fucking hurts. And usually it's when you're not looking. You know, I've heard stories about that too.
but sometimes you don't stiff at all, and you still get those chops, and and those chops really hurt.
You know, I've never been a big fan of the chops, uh, or the back. You ever been hit in the back with a bare hand, like a chop
I
to the
have,
back?
yes, I have.
No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Do not do that to me. I've made it known a few times on that one. Because I've seen people that like to do that shit. You're not hitting my fucking back. I'm taking bumps. I'm taking bumps. I'm not taking a slap to the back.
Chops are not my favorite things, but to be honest, in my perspective, I'd rather take a chop in the back than in the chest. I'm not like super like chiseled in the chest, so it kind of hurts even more.
Yeah, that's all right.
So,
And then some guys will sit there and just do chops and chops and chops and chops and chops and chops.
yeah, well, like kind of gets out of hand. I don't like that.
Why? Why
Yeah,
do it?
exactly.
Wrestle.
Yeah, exactly.
The chops. You're supposed to cuff your hand the right way because it make like okay, this is flat. I don't know if you guys will be able to tell on the podcast, but like what you're going for is sound. Okay? And a lot of guys go for the mark on your chest. Fuck that. I don't want any marks on my chest, right? I mean, I've taken them, but anyways, so listen. So here's your hands and they're straight. Okay? Here we go. You hear that?
I do.
Okay. So now, cup your hand. See? Cup your hand and cup your hand. Now do it. Hear the difference?
Oh, absolutely. That's
Okay.
much more of an impact.
100%. And I was hitting my hands the same amount as I was when it was flat. So there's a way to chop. You want a cup. I have small hands. If I had bigger hands, people with bigger hands can do a chop and it will sound fucking awesome. That's the way you chop. It's not laying into somebody and just hoping there's a... Of course there's going to be a slap, but why do you want to fucking hurt somebody? Or mark them up? I've seen people with bruises.
Oh, I've had
You know?
I've had cuts, and I've had bruises, and I've had
Yeah.
marks. I mean, it's unreal.
No, I hear you.
But
It sucks.
but like I said, I mean, you just go. Unfortunately, you got to go with the flow and still try to give the crowd what they want to see. So
100%. No, and that's the thing. So, a lot of guys, even when I first started doing it, there were guys like that. I was never out to hurt anybody. I was never out to make people mad. I was out to have fun and to, a few years into it, I was out to make some money and to get pretty good at it. And I was okay. I wasn't the greatest, but I had a good gimmick. I had a good attitude. I think promoters like me, and a lot of guys like to work with me. And that satisfied me. That was my deal. That's what I was there for.
yeah, just go there, put on a show for the fans, get paid, and leave pretty much.
100%. Do you have any questions for me?
I actually do, and this is I don't know. I'm bringing you back a little bit.
Yep.
2008. Do you remember wrestling in Presque, Maine?
Yes, at the Forum.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's another show. I forgot about that. Were you there?
I was, and I actually got an autographed photo of you, and I took a picture of you.
Did you take it with me?
No, I don't. I think I just took a picture of you.
Really?
Yeah, I do, and
dude,
I remember
that was my debut Captain Freedom.
Yeah, and I was there to see that.
That was my debut Captain Freedom. That place was nuts.
Yeah, it was a good showing. There's a lot of people there.
Me and I who did I work that night? Ryan was a manager. Oh, it was Sunny. It was Sunny.
Yes, it was.
It
Yes,
was
it was.
Sunny. Yeah.
Yep, yep,
We had a
yep. You're right.
fucking awesome match, dude.
Yeah, it was good.
Dude,
It
I
was
made a
good.
lot of money that night too.
Yeah,
That was yeah, and
it was a
Honky
good
Tonk
crowd.
Man was there.
Yeah, you're right.
And I got a picture from him and I in the locker room.
Yeah, I actually had lunch with Honky Tonk Man at McDonald's in Caribou, so that was pretty cool.
Yep. Yep. No,
But yeah,
that is absolutely right.
yeah, I just wanted to bring that up to you, see if you remembered that.
Okay, so that's in my top 3. Yes. 100%. That was a fun show.
It was a good show. Actually, it was my wife and I, and my father-in-law, and he really had a good time. He actually comes from Minnesota,
Yeah.
and he knew Vern Gagne.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
AWA.
oh yeah, AWA. He went to the shows. He actually talked to Vern Gagne. Told me he was a total drunk.
Probably. A
Yeah.
lot of those guys are.
So, yeah, he told me stories about Vern Gagne and Larry the Axe Henning. I mean, just the greats back from the AWA days. So,
That's
but,
cool.
yeah,
I totally forgot about that show.
yeah, it was good.
That was debut Captain Freedom. Wow, it was
Yeah.
too. And
So, I got another follow-up question on that.
go ahead.
How did you come up with Captain Freedom?
Okay, so I was just sitting. The Heartstopper gimmick was okay. I mean,
Hmm.
I wasn't chiseled. I wasn't. I wasn't ugly by any means. I don't think, but I wasn't chiseled like a Heartstopper should be. I was just a guy from Tulsa, Oklahoma that used to wear a cowboy hat. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I thought it was cool. And I was just thinking one time, I do okay. I make 50, 60 bucks a show on pictures, but I need to do something that's colorful and that would kind of get the crowd interested in me. So I was like, I need a mask, and why not do red, white, and blue, but do Ultimate Warrior tassels. And I love the eagle that was on my face.
Yeah, that was
And
pretty cool.
you know what? I should have brought my mask and put my mask on right here because I actually have it. It's like 10 feet behind me. But I was just putting together something that would be flashy and that I could be compatible with. So I bought the tassels. I got the red and white and blue tights. My mask is my favorite. I wish I would have done silver though, but it's gold. And the tassels and stuff.
Hmm.
And I even still have my wristbands from that I used to sell. I got
Oh wow.
pictures that I
Yeah.
still have, and and that's how that came up. And I debuted it in Presque Isle, and that was like the perfect night because you guys were freaking awesome up there.
Oh, it's nice to see history in wrestling in the wrestling culture. Captain Freedom making his debut in Presque Isle, Maine.
No, it was really cool. That was a great show.
Yeah.
I was taking pictures with people, and like I've never felt the genuine with fans, and they were just coming up to me and taking pictures, and they were hugging me. The
Yep.
kids, I've got pictures with the kids up there.
Hmm.
These kids were like starstruck with me.
Yep.
Dude, I'm just a normal guy, and it just makes you feel good when you're wearing that stuff. And I pressed Ryan that night, and I have a picture with him up. Yeah, and the fucking place was nuts, dude. Like
Yeah,
I
it was a
remember
good.
I told Ryan, I'm like, dude, I can't even fucking hear in here. Like that's what I said to him after I slammed him. I said, holy
Mhm.
shit, I can't even fucking hear in here. And I'm hitting the ropes, and just it, that's the stuff I love.
Is one thing about the county up here is that
The genuine people,
we appreciate anything that comes up here.
100%.
Yeah, it that just gives us some kind of form of entertainment because there's not a lot of things up here.
No, that's true,
Um,
but that's okay.
but I mean, just having you guys up there and putting on a show means a lot. I mean, like for as far as my character goes, nobody likes a Canadian, obviously.
Sure.
But I mean, they know me from outside the ring, and they say, "Oh, you had a great match. You did good. When can we see you again?"
Yep.
But it's funny that I can get in the ring and they completely hate me and boo me and all this and that.
Right.
So it's pretty cool that they know fantasy from reality, but they know that even in the ring, you're gonna take some risks, and they know that as well. So it's fun up here.
Yeah. Say it was the same way down home. I'm from down East Maine, and
Hmm.
the communities come together big time. Whenever we had a show, we had 300-400 people most of the time.
Yep.
Uh, because one, they want entertainment, and two, they knew me and a few others that were on the card. We promoted it, and three, they just wanted to help out the cause.
Hmm.
So it's a win-win all the way through. I like to keep people. Excuse me. I used to like to keep people that I knew. The close people, I could kind of tell a little bit about it. But the people that knew me and I knew them, I never let them in. I kept kayfabe pretty good there
Yeah.
because I wanted them to realize, hey, I'm doing something here. I want you to respect what I do, and
Right.
they showed me that by buying a ticket. So,
Yep.
uh, you know, just great stuff.
I mean, it's funny you say that. I mean, uh, they're we call them the Holton crew from Holton, Maine,
Holton.
and
Yep.
yeah, like I said, I'll fill you in on something. I'm the owner of Crown and Maine Wrestling up here,
Okay.
and we put on shows for a couple of years, and this Holton crew that we got have been to every single show that I could remember.
Okay.
And on Facebook, I'm friends with one of them, especially. I call him the leader of the Holton crew. And we're friends with him on. I'm friends with him on Facebook, and we chat back and forth. Well, when's the next show gonna happen? This and that. But I swear, he's in the front row every single time, booing the shit out of me, and telling me how much he hates Canada and Jacques Français. It's so fun.
It's good. No, it's just
Yeah,
cheap fun. You know,
yeah, it is.
um, and that's the main thing. You got to go out and have some fun, and that's
Yeah,
the name of the game. It really
exactly.
is. It's and then there's people. I hate to say it, but there's just people that take it too seriously, and it kills everything. You know,
Yep,
it
yep.
kills your mood when you have to work with them, or
Oh yeah, absolutely.
go out and have fun, man.
Right.
That's the name of the game. And of course, making money is good too.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course. And then like before we get done, I want to mention this too.
All right.
You get the people that are always chasing the promoter and putting a bug in the promoter's ear. So what are you gonna do with the title? What are you
Hmm.
gonna do with the title? Hey Abe, what are you gonna do with the title? Uh, well, if you ever need someone to drop the title to, I'll do it. Um, holy shit, dude!
I know exactly what you're
It's
talking
a
about.
fucking belt.
Yeah, it's I know promoting too, and
Jesus, man.
it
So
is
you know what I'm talking about?
it is. I mean, people don't realize how tough it is to put on one single show, and
Exactly.
yeah, the stress that goes into it. the money, the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And like you said, you always have that one person saying, "Well, what are you doing with this? What are you doing with that? Well, how about we do this?" And it's like, listen, I'm here. I'm paying you. Just do your match
Yeah.
and have a great one out there, and we'll see, down the road. But right now, just focus on what is now.
100%. The title thing. Holy shit,
Hmm.
dude. Like I couldn't handle it. Like, what are you doing with the title? Hey, Abe, what do you? Hey, can I be champion someday? Uh, maybe. I don't know. Stop fucking asking. I'll tell a quick story, and I'm very proud of this
All
because
right.
I'm very, very proud of this. I was working for a New Wrestling Horizon. New Wrestling
Sorry.
Horizons, NWH. Sonny Roselli was running it. We were doing weekly shows in Old Town. That was fun, real fun until the fans started to know the wrestlers, and that's not cool. I didn't like that.
Okay. Yep.
Anyways, we were doing TV for Time Warner Cable, Fox 22 as well, and I was in a match after like 4 or 5 months. We were doing a program, and I didn't even realize that I was in contention or even an idea to have a belt put on me.
All
I had
right.
no clue. Zero. I didn't have the book. I was just a guy that was coming up wrestling every week and having a good time. Making $5.
Hmm.
Okay? I got put into a match. And it was me and Mark Moment, Paul. And he is a great worker. And he was friends with Sonny, obviously. Well, they wanted to drop the title for TV, for television. No, sorry. It wasn't dropping the title. It was the winner got the TV title to be the first ever NWH TV champion.
All right.
And they gave it to me. It was awesome. Like, I couldn't believe it. So me and him were talking out back. I thought I was going to get pinned. That, in my mind, he's Sonny's best friend. And I've only been here 4 or 5 months. We're doing good, whatever. I thought I was going to lose. And then Sonny comes in and says, "You're going over." I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You're going to be NWH television champion first ever. You're going over tonight." That made me feel so good because I didn't ask for
Absolutely.
anything.
Yeah.
And it made me feel good. Like, these guys like me up here.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I
You
mean,
know?
you have a good promoter. They see what
Yeah.
they see, and they're gonna put what the fans appreciate, and that's a good promotion. I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah. No, I was over pretty good over there.
That's good. That's good.
I had some good matches there. A lot of them that we don't have. I think Larry Huntley might have a lot of them, but yeah, and like the fair circuit, going around fairs. Fairs were
Hmm.
fun. I had some really, really good matches at fairs. A lot of people, sold a lot of merchandise.
Yep.
Even as the Heartstopper, I sold a lot of merchandise at the fairs.
Yep.
But it was great, and
Yep.
I don't regret anything. Maybe I'll get back in the ring someday.
Well, I mean, Jacques Francois is always here waiting for Captain Freedom to put his boots on. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah. I mean, we could do something pretty good.
It
We could. It would be fun. I'd love to work with you.
would.
It'd
It
be
would.
awesome. I'd be a little rusty, but 3-4 minutes into it and taking our time, I think we'd be okay. I'd probably get blown up pretty fast, but
Hey, you know what? We
whatever.
make it work.
Yeah, we could make it work. But I appreciate you coming on to the podcast, man. I appreciate it.
I'm really honored to be on it, man.
Yeah, and we'll do it again.
Absolutely.
This is what I'm trying to do in my podcast. I want to get people on here because I can go back and forth and talk about certain topics. It's not the greatest thing, but it works. And I had a great time talking about pro wrestling with you. And next time we do it, we can get into some other things if you want.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure there's a ton of stuff we didn't talk about. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
I,
There's always a continuation in stories. That's for sure.
next time we could talk about some road stories and stuff like that.
Absolutely, be honored for that.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. And I appreciate you coming on, Vaughn. And take care, and hopefully you don't get the virus, and stay safe. And tell the family I said hello. And we'll be in touch, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Sounds like a plan, and you're doing a good thing. Yeah, good luck.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Have a good night, bud.
You too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Vaughn Taggart, pro wrestler from up north. Great guy, fantastic guy. And I was so excited to have him on here with the podcast. And, sometimes it's hard to get guys on here and whatnot, but Vaughn was fantastic. So I want to thank all of you for going ahead and watching the podcast this evening. I appreciate all of you, and I'll be back very soon with some more content, pro wrestling content, and everything else in between. The A Valley Podcast, we're here to entertain. We're here to talk about all kinds of things. If you want to be my guest right here on the podcast, do not hesitate. Send me an email. I would love to have you on here. We can talk about whatever you want. The A Valley Podcast at yahoo.com. Okay? I want to hear from all of you. Be my guest. Be right here on the A Valley Podcast, Abe's Corner. Thank you all. I hope you all have a great night. Stay safe. And God bless. I'm your host, Abe Alley, right here on Abe's Corner, the Abe Alley Podcast. I love you all. We'll see you soon. Peace.